Hello everyone, myself Sriram and my teammates are Itendra, Binanda, Priyadarshan and Ashan. We are going to explain about the novel Brave New World. Today I am going to talk about the novel Brave New World written by Aldous Huxley in 1932. The story is set in a future world where everything is controlled by science and technology. In this society, humans are not born naturally. Instead, they are created in labs and trained from childhood to follow rules without questioning anything. At first, this world looks perfect because there is no war and no pain and everyone seems happy. But in reality, people do not have freedom. Emotions are personal choices. They are controlled using a drug called soma, which keeps them calm and prevent them from feeling sadness or anger. The novel shows us how much we control and technology can take away what makes us human. It also makes us think about the importance of freedom, emotion, and individuality in our lives. In conclusion, Brave New World is not just a story, but a warning about a future where people may lose their humanity in the search for comfort and happiness.
Today I'm going to speak about the author of the famous novel Brave New World, written by Aldous Huxley. Aldous Huxley was born on July 26, 1894, in England. He came from a highly educated and intellectual family. His grandfather was a well known scientist, and this background greatly influenced his thinking and writing style. Huxley studied at Oxford University, where he developed a strong interest in literature and philosophy. He later became one of the most important writers of the 20th century. His works mainly focused on the relationship between science, technology, and human life. In 1932, he wrote Brave New World, a dystopian novel that presents a future society where people are controlled by technology, conditioning, and artificial happiness. Through this novel, Huxley warns us about the dangers of losing individuality, emotions, and freedom in a highly advanced world. Apart from Brave New World, he also wrote other important works like Island and the Dose of Perception, which reflects his interest in human consciousness and society. In conclusion, Aldous Huxley was not just a writer, but a visionary thinker who used his works to make us question the future of humanity and the role of technology in our lives. Thank you.
I'm going to explain about the characters and their roles. Bernard Marx. Bernard is an alpha who feels different from others in the world state. He does not enjoy their lifestyle of pleasure and control. He questions society. His role is to show that even in a controlled world, individually and dissatisfaction can exist. Lenina Crown. Lenina is a typical citizen who fully follows the world state rules. She believes in casual relationship, soma, a drug use, and happiness without questioning. Her role is to represent the perfect conditioned human in the society. John, the savage. John is raised outside the world state in a natural environment. He values emotions, love, and freedom. When he enters the civilized world, he is shocked by its lack of humanity. His role is to contrast natural human life with artificial society. Mustafa Mond. Mond is one of the world controllers and highly intelligent leader. He understands truth, science, and religion, but chooses to suppress them for stability. His role is to explain why the world state stack sacrifice freedom for happiness. Helmholtz Watson. Helmholtz is an intelligent alpha who feels something is missing in life. He wants to create meaningful writing, not just propaganda. His role is to show intellectual rebellion within the system. Henry Foster. Henry is a Lenina's casual partner and a loyal follower of the system. He enjoys technology and a pleasure without questioning anything. His role is to represent an average, satisfied citizen of the world state. Fanny Crown. Fanny is Elena's friend who constantly reminds her to follow social norms. She supports the idea of the multiple partners and social conditioning. Her role is to reinforce society's explanation. Linda. Linda is John's mother who once lived in the world state but was left behind in the savage reservation. She becomes addicted to soma, a drug, and struggles with reality. Her role is to show the negative effects of dependency and conditioning. Thomas, the director. He is the head of the hatchery and conditioning center. He represents authority but is later exposed for his past mistake. His role is to show hypocrisy within the system. Pope. Pope is a man from the savage reservation. relationship with Linda. His role is minor but helps show the contrast between natural human emotions and civilized control. Each character represents different idea. Bernard and Helmholtz question society. Lenina and Henry follow society blindly. John represent real human values and won't justify the system.
I'm going to explain the summary of the Brave New World. Brave New World is a science fiction novel set in a futuristic society called World State. In this world, everything is controlled to maintain stability and happiness. Humans are not born naturally. Instead, they are created in laboratories and divided into different social classes like alphas, betas, gamma, and deltas. Each group is trained from childhood to accept their role and question the system. The society focuses on pressure and comfort. People are conditioned to avoid emotions like sadness, love, and deep thinking. Instead of forming strong relationships, they are encouraged to enjoy temporary pleasures. Whether they feel unhappy, they take a drug called soma, which removes the pain and keep them calm. Helps the government. This helps the government to maintain control without using force. The story follows characters like Bernard, Linda, and John, also known as Savage. Bernard feels different and uncomfortable with the society, while Linda fully accepts its rule. John is raised outside the world state in a natural environment, where he learns about emotion, family, and religion. When he enters the world state, he is shocked by how artificial and empty it feels. John represents the true human value like freedom, love, and individuality. He believes that people should experience both happiness and suffering because that is what makes life meaningful. However, the world state does not allow such freedom. Mustafa Mond, one of the rulers, explained that society has chosen stability and constant happiness over truth and personal freedom. In the end, John cannot accept this controlled world and struggles to live in it. His story shows that a life without freedom and real emotion is truly unhuman. Overall, the Brave New World is a warning about future where too much control and comfort can destroy individuality, freedom, and true happiness. Thank you.
The plot: Brave New World is set in a futuristic society called the World State, where humans are artificially created in laboratories and hatcheries and conditioned from birth to fit into fixed social classes. People are taught to avoid deep thinking and strong emotions. Instead, they focus on pleasure, entertainment, and stability. Everything is controlled so that no one feels unhappy. But this also means there is no real freedom and individuality. The story mainly focuses on Bernard Max, who feels different and uncomfortable in the perfect but artificial world, and Lenina Crown, who happily follows social rules. Bernard wants something more meaningful than the shallow happiness around him. Both of them travel to the Savage Reservation, a place where people still live naturally with families, emotions, and suffering that no longer exists in the world state. At the reservation, they met John, who is known as a savage, as he was raised outside the world state but has learned about his ideas through books. Bernard brings John back to the modern society, where he becomes a curiosity and extracts a lot of attention. However, John soon becomes disturbed by the world as he realizes that people have given up real emotions, love, and truth in exchange of comfort and artificial happiness. Conflict reaches its peak when John argues with Mustafa Mond, one of the leaders of the world state. Mond explains that society chose stability and happiness over freedom and truth. When John believes humans should experience pain and real emotions to live meaningfully, unable to accept this artificial world, John isolates himself but eventually overwhelmed, and the novel ends tragically with his death, highlighting the dangers of society that sacrifices humanity for control. Thank you.